I'm going to do a lot of people a favor here by sharing this story. And I talked about this earlier, that we would get one of my friends on the radio. Mm-hmm. I used to coach kids baseball with Rick Singer. Now, Rick, how long ago was that we coached baseball together?
Oh, my gosh, that's got to be 12 years ago?
12, 15 years, something like that.
First of all, Lamont, you handsome devil, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I want to know how you're doing, because you shared a story that on Facebook. That's how I found out about this. That you came into contact with COVID-19, and it scared the hell out of me.
Well, I was early with it. As you know, we caught the Italian version, so I like bragging about it that I think it had a little Pina Farina styling to it or something. But, my love, Tao and I, we went to Italy like mid-February.
Right.
Just when this story was just starting to get sort of inklings of it going on. We weren't sure. We didn't know what to do. We were emotionally invested in this trip, so we took the vacation.
Yeah.
We went to Italy. We heard that things were kind of happening in the northern parts of the country, Milan and Venice, and we were in the south. We were in Florence and Rome.
Yeah.
And we had this wonderful 2-week trip, definitely, like during the low season, and just didn't really think much about it. The streets were relatively quiet. Most of the places were quiet. And then about a day before we were leaving the country, I'm not feeling so good. And
right.
I figured, we did so much traveling. I'm aching. I'm feeling a little warm, and I'm going, we just did too much. It's time to go home.
Yeah.
But during that long 15-hour trip home, I'm not feeling so good. I'm really starting to get concerned now. Muscles are aching really badly, and I'm not feeling good. And I'm thinking, my God, at San Francisco airport, they're going to take my temperature or something, and they're going to send me to a gymnasium for 2 weeks. Or something
right,
like that,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm panicking, but kind of strange. Here's how early in the game it was. We literally got off the airplane. I got my bags. We went through customs, and I'm in a car ride home in less than 40 minutes.
Wow.
But I'm sick now. So I call the doctor the next day, and I tell him, here's what's going on. I just came back from Italy, and they're concerned. We don't have any testing available. This is now literally March 3rd, March 4th, right?
Right, exactly.
So I call them, and there's no testing available. So they said, just treat it like a rhinovirus. Keep feeding yourself Tylenol.
And meanwhile, you've got coronavirus.
And I've got it, you know, but I don't even know about it till later in the month. But, just so everyone knows, it's not fun. And as you know, you and I have talked a little bit about it, the short breathing and everything. The best thing you could do for yourself is just not panic. You got to kind of recalibrate your breathing a little bit. You're going to get short on breath. You're going to cough, like you said, really, like you feel like you're coughing up a lung or something.
And what's funny? What's funny about that? Because I was telling you a little off the air just before we went on, I think I had this. It was January, February, and I was coughing so bad that I called my doctor and said, hey, listen, I don't know. There's something going on here. And I've got congestion, and I'm coughing so bad, it felt like I dislocated a rib.
Oof.
And my doctor told me, just take some Delsum and and Tylenol. So that's what I did, and I stayed at home until I nursed myself better. But so how sick did you get when you had this?
I got it really bad. There were easily 4 or 5 days where I never felt life-threatened or anything like that, but I did feel that 5 or 10% worse, and I got to go in. This will get, so I had really easily about 4 or 5, really, really bad days of it. And then it was about 4 or 5 weeks of just like a really sort of crummy sort of rhinovirus that I was just feeling bad. So it literally, we came back from Italy on the 4th, and wasn't able to get tested until the 19th of March. Wow. And that's when it was determined that I was positive.
Wow.
And I got tested twice to confirm that it was positive. So then, just to make a long story short, cut to the chase here a little bit, it literally, like I said, was about 4 or 5 weeks. And then about early April, I started feeling a little bit better. I was feeling, like I got past this thing. Like I said, 4 or 5 days of really, really bad.
Yeah.
And then about 5 weeks of just being sick. So I started hearing in the media that Mayo Clinic in Rochester and Stanford right here locally in Palo Alto were running programs about those who may have gone through the coronavirus.
Yep.
And they were looking for, sort of survivor plasma with this.
Yeah.
So I started typing away on the internet and trying to get information. I immediately called back to my doctor over at Kaiser and asked them, are they doing any such program? And they said, no, but please keep pursuing this, keep looking online for it about it. So I kept doing that, but it was getting really overwhelming with all the consents and all the approval forms and all the questionnaires and everything. And then as I'm like about 5 days into that, I got a call from a doctor who was the head of pathology over at Kaiser, and they started pitching me, saying, we understand you're feeling better, and we are desperately looking for plasma donors now if you are negative of this. And I said, I'm in. So I got fast tracked right away. They had partnered up with Stanford Health and with the Stanford Blood Center, and I got partnered up. I got a fast tracked right to them. I got another test immediately to make sure to see if I was negative. And thank goodness I was. And again, that's something that I want everyone to know, that you can contract this and it can subtract it too.
Hey, I've got a question. I've got a question for you on that. So if I went in for a test, if I had it at one point, would they be able to tell if I had it before, even if I'm negative now?
I don't think so. I think that is the issue. And look, I'm trying to promote the good story on this as much as possible.
So what you're doing is you were
tested positive.
Yes.
And then you have the ability to get tested to see if you're negative.
Yeah.
That plasma is desperately needed right now.
And that is gold. And that is gold for the researchers.
That is gold, and they're using it for a couple reasons, but the main reason, and the really funny thing is, I turned on Twitter this morning, and it's like one of the top trending things. They've just approved it in the UK as well, and they said we just got 4 bags of plasma, and they're moving that forward. So at Stanford Blood, I just did my first, draw last week donation, and I was only one of 7 people last Wednesday that was at the organization. So if anyone has been tested positive and they believe they are feeling healthier now, sign on to StanfordBloodCenter.org and go through the process. They do. Like you said, Lamont, it's desperately needed plasma right now, and there are some really great news stories. I'm hearing about it too. There was a lady, again, I don't know if you saw it on my Facebook page, and they had set up a sort of a GoFundMe sort of thing looking for this type of plasma. I didn't give mine. They were able to find it down in SoCal. Yep. But the guy's a firefighter down there. And he's been hospitalized literally for like 3-4 weeks already. And she just contacted me yesterday and said, thanking again for offering the plasma, but they said he has been given 2 transfusions of the plasma and is now finally showing signs of life. Incredible story. There's a reality to this for sure. So your listeners really need to know that. It's StanfordBloodCenter.org. There's a reality. They do this on a machine called the apheresis, which essentially draws your blood. It puts it through a centrifuge system. It takes the plasma that it needs, and then it re-injects into your system the red blood cells and platelets.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to put your story on our webpage as well with all the links to Stanford, all right? How does that sound?
That would be amazing. That would be incredible. And also, just so you know, they're doing the same thing at the Stanford Blood Center on their website. Cool. So anyone who does want to read or see the entire story, it's going to be on their page tomorrow afternoon.
All right, Rick. Hey, good health to you, and I hope you're feeling better.
And you too, and everyone there. And listen, what I really want to convey, what we have, and I know we're all really tired at home and we're frustrated. We want to get out there, and there's a lot of noise. But the one thing we do have in all of this is sort of the positive energy and something that communally we all can do something positive moving forward. We got to attack this monster at the source. And then everything else, all the rest of the puzzle is going to fall into place.
All right, Rick, thank you very much.
Good luck,
I'm
Rick.
glad you're feeling better. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
All right, you too. See, what a story that is, Shasta.
Incredible message,
right?
too.
Exactly.
Yes, love that guy.
So I'm going to get Baby Huey to put that on our webpage. And if you have had this, and I know a couple guys have had this, I'm sending them that link right now. So there you go.